story worth hearing. Everyone has something that makes them, them. Join us as we discover the rich history of the everyday person around you. Watch People We Know and Stories We Don't exclusively on KingDavidNetwork.com/KDNTV. People We Know and Stories We Don't is lovingly dedicated by the network in memory of Sarah Chaya Bas Mendel Colbert. May she have an elevation in heaven. Mrs. Colbert, of blessed memory, was the secular principal of Yeshiva Beth Yehuda in Southfield, Michigan, and has touched the lives of hundreds of students, creating everlasting impacts upon them and their future generations. It is in her merit that we spread the beautiful stories of the everyday people and share them on King David Network, Judaism for ears, heart, soul. Okay. Our guest today is none other than Rachel Sam, a singer, songwriter, rapper, and artist. How are you doing, Rachel?
I finally can, I finally can hear you. But one second, one second. Um, okay. Should I just? Sorry. No, because I finally figured out how to hear you.
Ah,
But then it turned off my mic when I unplugged that one. So I'm trying to see if I can switch it. What? At least are the am I hearing you?
I can hear you.
Okay. It's not even. I'm just gonna. Is this better than before or worse?
That's good.
Okay.
All right, so how you doing, Rachel? Thank you for joining the show.
I'm tired and I'm stressed, but I'm happy for the occasion.
So tell us, how did you get into art?
I think art is something you're just born with if it's something that you're inclined towards. But as far as actually um spending my day doing it and being able to monetize it somewhat, I started my art business, I would say the beginning of the year or something, or last year. And it actually happened kind of by accident. One person ordered an olive base thing, and then another person wanted something similar. And then I just kept making mostly art pieces for children's bedrooms, playrooms, whatever, things like that. Um, and now I teach art and gymnastics to kids on Sundays.
Oh, wow.
So that's also part of it. And um, yeah,
Okay, so
not too fascinating.
tell us
Yeah.
about the House of 12 Pesukim.
The House of 12 Sukkim. Oh, okay. The one that I that I that I'm in middle of sending you.
Yes, I'm so
Um
excited to own it.
yes. So I didn't package it yet because I wanted to ask you a couple questions first about the sizing. But so a friend of mine, actually, someone that I've been friends with since basically since I was born, if that's possible. She custom ordered it. She ordered the 12 psukim written out, every single word of every single pasuk. It took a bunch of takes of you spelled that wrong and you spelled that wrong every time I think I spelled everything right. And then I would post it on social media and one person would DM me like, you got this letter wrong or you got that letter wrong. So it's good I kept posting it and embarrassing myself because now it's like all spelled right. Um, but basically she wanted some type of like cozy scene for her kids' rooms for her kids' room. And so it's a house, and then I put each pasuk strategically in another place on the painting that corresponds
Mm-hmm.
to the place in the painting. So, for example, Horatius is around the sun, and um, um, Shema is on the mezuzah,
Mm-hmm.
and whatever, it's like on the pathway, and V'ahavta l'reacha, it's by like two birds like standing with each other on a tree, etc., etc.
Very cool.
But I make I print copies of the originals. Like if people order an original painting, it costs a little bit more because it's a custom piece. But then I make copies of that for anyone that wants. That's why I'm sending you as you so um generously ordered the 12 psukim, 12 by 16. So I am getting that ready for you. I already printed it. I have it here, but yeah,
Awesome.
doing framing and everything.
Tell us about the map of Israel painting.
Um, oh my God, are you sure you want? Okay, so another friend ordered this. She said she wanted a kid-friendly map of Israel painting, and it's weird. Like if you look it up online, it doesn't exist. A kid-friendly painting of Israel, it just doesn't exist. And if it does, like there's just, with the whole conflict of people painting, I don't know, they're painting Israel or they're painting all the sites or only the Jewish sites or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. And she specifically wanted it to depict all the Jewish holy sites, but to be like colorful, kid friendly, pastel, whatever. So that's what I did. And my father actually knows Israel like the back of his hand. So I knew I had to call him. So I called him to reference like where to put what. It's very hard to make a map, especially someone that gets lost all the time, like should not be in charge of making a map. So I called him up and I'm like, okay, you need to draw for me like where everything in Israel is and all the holy places. And he was kind of in a rush and he's like, just ask me where something is and I'll tell you where it is in relation to another place. I'm like, no, I need you to draw it. And then he just told me over the phone. He's like, no, no, this is fine. This is fine. The next thing I know, like she was very happy with it. But I showed it to my father and he couldn't stop laughing and he said like he's like, people are buying your map of Israel. You forgot about Tiberias. And he was like, he's like, no, you put this. No, that's more north and that's more south. And I'm like, I told you to draw it for me. But anyway, it's hanging up in a lot of homes right now. So just use it as a reference of like it's a game. Like you have to figure out what's wrong in this picture. But for the sake of art and for the sake of like showing the vibrancy of different locations that are relatively in the right place in Israel, I would say it's one of the best paintings that I'm so happy that I did because it's so practical to have
Mm-hmm.
for kids.
What's your most favorite piece that you've made?
um, I think I think it's I think it's that one because there's so many things like I don't know if it's an artist thing or an ADHD thing or whatever it is. I feel like there's so many things that like I would never sit. I don't have the self discipline to sit down and make so many details in a map of Israel. At some point, I would go on to the next project. Like I don't finish things. Let's say I have so because someone orders something, I finish it
Mm-hmm.
because I feel the like the motivation. I want to get this to them. They ordered it, and I'm so grateful to friends, clients, whatever like that that challenge me because I'm forced to finish something I would never otherwise have the patience to do because when you sit down to make a painting just for fun, you don't know if someone's going to buy it or not. You don't know if something's going to come out of it. So you
Mm-hmm.
just like you might lose your motivation in the middle, but when someone custom orders something, you already know like it's going to someone, even if nobody orders a copy of it ever in the future, like you're making it for a specific purpose, it's going to hang up on someone's wall, or at least they paid for it to be. So the rest is not your problem, but you want it to hang up on their wall. That's even more gratifying. Um, I don't even remember what your question was, but that's the answer to whatever the question was.
Okay. Did you go to any school for art?
I'm currently in school online full time for psychology, but I never studied art in college. Um, I took an art class or two in high school, but I feel like I don't know. I feel like it's one of those things you either have or you don't. Like I know people that are just good at math. I'm not. So like I could get all the tutors in the world. At the end of the day, like I'm not going to be a math tutor when I
Mm.
grow up, or if I'm already grown up. Like it's just not going to be my job because I'm not born with that. I don't know. Like obviously it helps to hone your skill, of course, but yeah.
So you mentioned that you teach art and gymnastics. Can you tell us about that?
Um, it's for beginners. It's for little ones, like from 3 to 8 years old. And of course, my three little ones enjoy it because they're 3 to 8 years old. Um, and thank God we have a gymnastics room in the house that I accumulated equipment and then a room where we do the art, and the art is always when your kids make they make projects and they bring home these projects and you kind of like you want to show them that you're excited about it, and sometimes it's adorable, but you also like don't have room for 1,000 scrunched up papers that lost half their glue and half the sparkles, so you throw it out when they're not looking, and it's kind of sad. So what I try to do for art, especially since people are paying for it, is to always have a project that they're doing that is something that they don't want to throw out. So for example, like painting a tzedakah box, or painting a candlestick, or painting on a canvas, making a keychain, like things that are tangible, product like usable,
Mm-hmm.
um, that will not give parents the urge, I hope, to throw it in the garbage, and for the kid to have like something memorable to bring home that's not too destructible.
Very cool. So one of the things that is unique about you is that you're a rapper. And
In the firm world, it's unique, yeah.
yes, how did you get into that?
I used to always like freestyle in school, and then I would memorize other people's raps. So I would memorize like Black Attitude,
Ooh, I love Black
or
Attitude.
yeah, or oh, that's my baby, or Eminem or whatever. And then eventually, like I remember, I think one of the first raps I wrote was about one of my teachers, and I still remember it. And I rapped it for my class, and then my teacher came walked into the room, and I was so embarrassed. I ran under the table and I grabbed my friend under with me. I don't know. I guess I needed someone to be embarrassed with me, but um, and then eventually, I don't know, one time I wrote a rap on like a napkin or something in seminary, and I kept it in my phone. And at some point, I just produced it and I filmed it while I was pregnant, I think with my third or something like that. I don't know if you probably can't tell it's like in my third month, but I filmed it, and that was my first music video.
Which
And
one
that's
was
when
that?
Francisca, well, it was just a rap. What'd you say?
Which music video was that?
The Holocaust rap.
Okay.
And but my grandmother was a Holocaust survivor, so there's a lot of like, I don't want to say anger, but channeled in a, like, it's a genre usually where there's a lot of immorality and there's a lot of whatever, and I feel like instead of throwing away the, oh, where'd you go?
Oh, I don't know.
instead of instead of throwing away the whole genre, it can be a neutral thing where it can be elevated to kedusha, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
And Francisca, actually, I did a collaboration with her on a song. She actually, when she saw this, she asked me to rap for her song, to make a rap for her song or whatever. So that's when I did the second one. And then,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, So let's give a watch to the Holocaust rap.
Uh-oh.
Child lost forlorn, left to mourn the torn. Connection, the selection, cruelty at its finest is the kindness among us. Are slaughtered, even daughters and sons, persecuted with guns to done. Generations to come, we think. And although hindsight agrees, we're free from oppression, but suppression of fate was hurled onto God's back, but lacks the reaction of gaining traction, bringing peace to humanity. If vanity is plenty, empty fame, thirsted for the rich are respected, and not because they help the poor. The streets pounded upon, throwing stone because of God, dama to remove it. You think you removed hate, but it's our souls that's fate. If we don't got it, what we have left, what do we have when they commit theft? Bodies and minds are stolen, left and right. The plight of the Holocaust and lost is the future. If we submit as victim and a legacy of revenge is born, it's one the only thing that's left to us. Our surgeons are shorn of and sworn once and now torn from when we try to skip off gaily, but daily it haunts us. Reminders, human grinders, and behind there's found no apathy. It's a facade that God is known. We've shown up to the deed. Yeah, you believe your creed was meant to be. You survived the worst. You tasted sorrow. You smelled close death. You didn't know if tomorrow would come. And sometimes you lie in bed inside the sky. Same one who thinks he's boss and lost his world and trust is gone. Was hurled into a black hole, leading to nowhere. So where can he turn? Turns away from his heritage, his very rich foundation from the nation he belongs to. And it's wrong to judge his crown. You be bound to feel that way. Emotions free if you're lay on the ground for crumpling, and along with it your families and family trees uprooted, shooted and looted by men in their boots who thought it cute to salute at a man who ran for president that had to make the unlawful lawful into jar full of hatred, basis spew sown into the hearts of his nation for obliteration of a people innocent and betrayed, now slayed and afraid of their own shadow and can't go outside of perimeters that exceed 2 feet, and the beat of their heart unknown to be its last and fast nothing gets louder. The stomping smells powder to boast, but blood spilled, those killed, those grilled on the fire. Smoke rises higher, dangerously quieter. Death at its most incognito, electricity one spark destroys another. The soul is someone's brother. To hover in heaven and look down and frown upon the bow, cause on the head of a man whose hand salute to himself is a black halo. Way to go, you destroy one generation of our nation, but oh no, not mine you won't, not mine you won't.
Where'd he go?
All right. Um.
I don't see you.
Oh,
Is that on purpose?
no. Hold on. Uh. For some reason, my camera keeps turning off. I'm not sure why.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize you were gonna play the whole thing, but
Yep.
I'm all for
Um.
it.
So
As long as
you
you have my attention.
mentioned that you did a collaboration with Francisca for "If You
Yeah.
Wanna Be." So tell us about that.
So she reached out to me. Actually, it took us like a year from start to finish to make the song and the music video because, like, first of all, shout out to Hillel Kapnick, who takes forever to get a hold of because he is amazing and his
Yes,
studio
he
is
is.
amazing. So I'm sure he's like constantly bombarded with people that want to use him. That's probably why he's so hard to get a hold of. But he really is incredible. So it's worth it. Um, but and then Francisca had a hard time bugging me because she was like, "Okay, you need to finish writing it already, and you need to whatever." So I actually wrote it right away, but then like we needed to arrange like me coming. I actually had to go drive up to Pennsylvania where she lives. I drove there with all my kids to film the music video, so I stayed by her for Shabbos, and then after Shabbos
Oh
we got
wow.
like a babysitter, and I was freaking out because my youngest, I didn't leave him like ever at that point, and like I had to leave him for 4 hours, which was a huge deal, and I was feeling so guilty. And we ended up filming, and that was fun. But I don't know why, but it took us like a year from start to finish of like recording and re-recording and writing and rewriting. But she wrote the tune, I wrote the words, and then she recorded the vocals, and I recorded like some harmony and rap. She took out a lot of the harmony, but I kept the original version before that, and I put that on my channel, and then hers is in the music video. So the music video is not on my channel. I just have the lyric video, because she was nice enough to tell me like I could also post it on my channel, but I felt like it's better if there's just one of each video. So yeah, so it's on her channel. Oh my God.
So what's the message of that song?
So actually, it was her idea. She wanted to write about a specific topic. She didn't just ask me to just write a song. She wanted to write about the Pirkei Avos concept of he who is rich is he who is happy with what he has, etc. Like who is strong, he who I don't know, has fortitude or whatever. So basically, I had to write like strong like a lion, etc. And no, it's not the strong as a lion. I always mix that up. That's the other Pirkei Avos thing. This is who is strong? He who, I don't know. Go look at the lyrics. I don't know. I wrote it a long time ago. But anyway, I don't know why I'm losing my voice so easily. But so actually, I wanted it to be. It's something I wanted it to be. If you want to be, if you're trying to be, because I felt like if you want to be sounded very like kids bop, Nickelodeon, like, and I was like, I don't want to do if you want to be. It sounds really whatever, but it was too late. We already recorded with if you want to be, so I was like, okay, fine, we'll keep it. But yeah, it was worth it. It was very challenging to maneuver the whole experience, but it was worth it, and I'm so grateful to her to have that experience.
All right, let's give a watch to If You Want to Be.
Are you doing the lyric video for my channel or the music video?
I'm going to do the music video.
Okay. Just by the way, there's a disclaimer. I don't know what makeup was put on my face, but it looked like it changed the whole shape of my face. So anyway,
okay.
Carry on.
If you wanna be that person with the guilt, and if you wanna be that person with the smile felt, if you wanna be that person worth the while, well, if you wanna be that person with the strength, and if you wanna be that person with the guilt, and if you wanna be that person with the smile felt, if you wanna be that person worth the while, well, if you wanna be that person with the strength, then who was the wise? I was scoffed, you lost wise when you're not those around you listening to dust. Who's strong when a punch out of evil inclination wants you mad, you resist to drink more combination was loaded with the guilt. It is not about the practice sex factor, you're hide it up to upper and the trust. You just my that until he gets it out. To play my casino, God's about to pop his head cloud. If you wanna be that person with the guilt, and if you wanna be that person with the smile felt, if you wanna be that person worth the while, well, if you wanna be that person with the strength, then if you wanna be that person with the guilt, and if you wanna be that person with the smile felt, if you wanna be that person worth the while, well, if you wanna be that person with the strength, then why so down, try and go and get it all. But the opposites like anything to grab it. It's your call. Accumulation of knowledge, soak it in. Only way, open up your ears and you feel it all. Say, let's listen what the heck, let's feel it hard to hold the shit. The person for the tools right now, you're not so deep. Open your mind, let's get y'all in a sense. You can rap. You're a compliment, a keeper now. Izu chacham, Izu chacham, Izu chacham, Izu chacham, Izu chacham, Izu chacham, Izu chacham. הלומד מכל אדם. The money, it is all about the smile. Do you feel like you got it? If you do, that's when you got it. And honor comes to those and then asking to be chosen for a now. Deemed be respectable and fuckers full now. Strength isn't physical, it really is a matter of character. Where to become better on the truth to be proud of you worthy of someone else you deserve for you to grab. Then it's as well. If you wanna be that person with the guilt, and if you wanna be that person with the smile felt, if you wanna be that person with the wild well, if you wanna be that person with the strength, then if you wanna be that If you wanna be that person with the wild wild, if you wanna be that person with the strength and lessons that me and you can live by and try towards how we get us by. Why? Cause God on high knows the recipe to live by, get by as he can buy for. I know that if we implement these goals, we stay lit, strong, humble and bold. It's gold. The past already past, been told, but we can still write up our future with this one. If you wanna be that, if you wanna get in, if you wanna be that, if you wanna smile about, if you wanna be that person with the wild one, if you wanna be that person with the strength, and if you wanna be that, if you wanna get in, if you wanna be that, if you wanna smile about, if you wanna be that person with the wild one, if you wanna be that person with the strength, and if you wanna be that person with the guilt, and if you wanna be that person with the smile about, if you wanna be that person with the wild one, if you wanna be that person with the strength, then that me and you can live by and try towards how we get us by. Why? Cause God on high knows the recipe to live by, get by as he can buy for. I know that if we
Okay.
By the way, do you see me while you're playing the music video, or
No,
you don't?
I do not.
Okay.
Okay, so the next rap that you did was the domestic violence one.
Yeah, so actually that wasn't so I wrote it as like a song slash rap because it's both technically it's I don't know if you could call it hip hop or R&B, but it's a mixture because there's rap, but there's melody to the rap. Um, and the song, so in the beginning, like when I wrote the song, I would have people message me like feeling bad for me. And while I do have a really crazy story, the domestic violence song is not about me. It's not my story at all. But I have loved ones. I know people that have gone through this or are going through this. And for me, it was like in tribute to that.
Hmm.
And it was very therapeutic for like support groups that use it, giving me feedback on the fact that like they would listen to it in their car and cry, or I heard about like a divorce lawyer using it or organization using it, and that was the most gratifying. That it wasn't just for the purpose of music anymore. It was um, making a difference. Like they say, like um, music is the pen of the lyrics are the pen of the heart, and music is the pen of the soul.
Hmm.
But so often, like what's reaching your heart and reaching your soul is sometimes just music. Like there's nothing too meaningful that's touching your heart and touching your soul. So it's really like the ultimate gratifying experience to make music and really touch what it's meant to and have some type of purpose and not feel like you're just making a song just for fun.
Hmm. Currently you have the lyric video available, and you mentioned
Right.
that you're working
We
on the
already
music
filmed the
video.
music video. It's gonna be crazy, but it's not out yet because the editing is it's there's a lot of heavy editing that is gonna be done. So for now, we just have the lyric video.
Can you tell us what to expect in the music video?
Ooh, there's like a grand piano in the grass, and there's drones, and there's crazy castle structures and flashing police lights. And I gotta say, like, um, some people have told me, like, oh, it's good you put a trigger warning or whatever. And but most people have told me, like, I thought that I would be triggered, but actually it was really, really therapeutic to watch because it was validating my experience. So it's not meant to trigger anyone, but if domestic violence is a trigger, then trigger warning, I guess.
All right, let's give a listen.
For God's sake, she shouts, but no words come out. She thinks it's too late to leave now. They blame her that she stays, but she's blinded to believe she's not allowed. Don't judge, you don't know what she's been through. To hell and back, yet she still smiles for you. Paved the road to a place she didn't know exists, the one where she deserves all the happiness. 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 She's a beauty inside out. She hides behind the curtains, but outside everybody's talking about her. Without her, they don't know what things swing by. We get to hatch slide. At least before you pour those words, that's five facts you don't know. So you see her mad, he smiles, he's nice, complains, so he's eyes, it's for you. He's cold for he ignored his own, his wife, the strife she sits through, grits her teeth, the sheath of an angel she deserves. She sweet, keeps neat, the eat, she feeds him well, but hell, he pushes away the play after screaming that it's late. Wait, you came home after dark. Now you bark, like you're your slave. I see her feelings, they're reeling. Her tears, provision, the decision to leave. Though she won't go, please don't show everyone what I did. So she hid, always his, money's his, never hers. Throws her self-esteem to the birds. The words that I shoot her, they're sharp. Death is silence, should harp on more. Nor is the worst. Because the iron fist insinuates she is this. They never talk like she isn't there. To stare through her like she's invincible. Said no, you're invincible. No, you're invincible. For God's sake, she shouts, but no words come out. She thinks it's too late to leave now. They blame her that she stays, but she's blinded to believe she's not allowed. Don't judge, you don't know what she's been through. To hell and back, yet she still smiles for you. Paved the road to a place she didn't know exists, the one where she deserves all the happiness. All the happiness. All the happiness. All the happiness. But she says that he just needs help. He's not well, I feel bad. Cause he's sad, he's so sad. When man can't help it, the belt that she felt it was said I deserve it. God wants it, she reasons with it. He says if it tries some sense, reality won't be so painful. So she remains pulled under his spell while you tell her to leave, to grieve. But she cleaves, even weaves a story of worry. No, her is staying is my only choice. There's no swaying in her voice. I need the money, it's funny though. Cause you can work, you're so smart. You can dance, whip out works of art. You can start your own book club, you have the heart people love. But you shove yourself back like you lack all the tools and the rules you think you need to follow. So you swallow your position like it's your mission to lose. You refuse to be aided. Your subconscious is brain inundated, distracted to think. So she sinks, but it's only her confidence on the brink of death. She focuses on his will, and her ills are real, yes. But it's ailments manifested from stress for yourself with the source. Emerge from the heart shell, you get well, it's her, it's not him. It's my mood, I can't win. So he pins her down rough, points his stuff with the look, lets her do what she's scared, so she does. Just because he won't give her the base, shoots her with a flick. The foods are the meds, so she dreads when he's red. And the moods on which day, hard to say when he'll sway. When he'll smile, get filed right. Dial police, she will never discover himself. The lies under God. And she buys his time to hold talking, she's so deep inside. So I guide her to see out, but that's all I can do. If she don't wanna save herself, I try to come to terms that I can't do. 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 For God's sake, she shouts, but no words come out. She thinks it's too late to leave now. They blame her that she stays, but she's blinded to believe she's not allowed. Don't judge, you don't know what she's been through. To hell and back, yet she still smiles for you. Paved the road to a place she didn't know exists. One where she deserves all the happiness. All the happiness. All the happiness. All the happiness.
Done?
All right. So you recently wrote a new song called Far Away.
So actually, I didn't recently write it. I wrote it like 10 years ago, but
Oh.
I recently produced it in the studio. Um, I actually recorded a lot of songs that I never publicized, but I suffer from perfectionism and I can't, even though of course none of my songs are anywhere near perfect, but at some point I have to just say, okay, it's too bad. It can always use more improvement, but I just have to get it out. But there are certain songs that I recorded and I produced, but I just never felt like it was public publicizing worthy. And when I was sitting in the studio with Hillel, we were going through some songs to see like which one should I perfect or produce or whatever that I never produced before. And this one I had recorded like raw, just singing it with like piano or whatever a long time ago. And he's like, oh, that one has potential. I'm like, nah. And I'm like, okay, fine, let's try to do that one. And in the end, I was like making him crazy with, wait, I need to do this harmony and that harmony and add in strings, no this strings, no those strings, make it go dun 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 dun. And I had all these specific requests, but thankfully he's like really just a studio master and goes through it really fast. So he was able to translate my custom symphony orchestra creating requests into and make it a reality. And so he actually told me like, you need to write a bridge here. It's empty. You need to write a different chorus because that's not considered a chorus. So I had to go back home and add a chorus and add a bridge and add whatever. And then I came back to him and I'm like, hey, this is what I wrote. And he's like, no, you can't write with like you made a whole new tune. And I'm like, too bad, keep it in. I like it like that. So he kept it and he's like, oh, actually, it's fine. So it was a whole like challenge of writing a long time ago and adding things in now. So when people ask like what is it written about, honestly, I don't know. Whatever I was feeling in the moment that I wrote then, the moment that I wrote now, it's a mixture of like usually the best things come out when you write from the heart and not just from the mind because you write spontaneously and it's literally just it's like you're expressing yourself. So whoever's listening is your what's the word, unsolicited therapist because you're just getting stuff out and then it becomes music.
All right, let's give a listen to that.
We're far away, life's turning gray, so we got the Maya. Then a plane removes the distance between us and carries back the one that was gone for that while. But now suddenly you are so close but yet so far. When you wanna be free from the place where you are, you're not really there. Cause you are where your heart is. When the closeness comes too easy, we make no effort, then the bond is gone. If we don't move our feet forward, then the road winds us, it will let it recline and live forever on the bottom ground for the road to stay strong. We tie it up, the bond is only strong. It takes us for neither to let go. You're far away, you couldn't stay. Wish I could cut the miles for a blade to remove the distance between us and carry you back. You're gone for too long a while, but now suddenly you are so close but yet so far. When you wanna be free from the place where you are, you're not really there. Cause you are where your heart is. When the closeness comes too easy, we make no effort, then the bond is gone. If we don't move out empty room. There was always room for you, but the house it rooms, the one with whom it was shared, that place not graced by your presence, but there's hole inside. My heart is filled, blood spilled, it's spilled for you. Because ensuing in our minds, bounded by thoughts, gone but still, you're here if bound by will, standing right here, but you could be anywhere, if only by your wish. You could be considered elsewhere. Together means that you intended to be, even so far away. A heart is considered a place you can't remain. Suddenly, you are so close, but yet so far. When you wanna be free from the place where you are, you're not really there. 'Cause you are where your heart is. When the closeness comes too easy, we make no effort, and the bodies go on if we don't move out. Before word in our own minds, as if a ladder inclined, live forever on the bottom road, for the road to stay strong. We tie a knot from this torn rope, and then the bond is only stronger. It takes us more neither to let go. And then the bond is only stronger. All it takes is more neither to let go.
Okay. Are there any songs that you're working on currently?
Actually, yeah, we started a new one um, in the studio, but it's really in the beginning phases. Like, it's one of those ones that I did record a long time ago, but very raw. So it's in its beginning phases of being perfected, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
and being re-recorded. And but so far, um, I feel like it's getting better as we go. Um, so yeah, I'm grateful that I found Hillel also, because he really brings my, like, if you have a vision, he brings it to life. So
Yeah, I love working with him
not
also.
everyone, yeah, he told me that he knows you or something when I was there.
Yeah, he's always sending me new music and stuff, and I actually
I don't see
tried.
you, by the way. I don't know if that matters for
I
you.
actually tried getting a song written. Well, I write poetry in my spare time, so I sent one to get turned into a song before my wedding, but it ended up being too expensive.
Oh, really? Right. Yeah. No, I guess you get what you pay for, right? So,
Yeah, but one of these days I have a lot of songs a lot of poems that I've written that I would love to turn into songs.
yeah,
Um,
that's fun.
what do you do in your spare time?
I don't have spare time. Um, I have three little kids, and I'm either dealing with all of the things that motherhood comes with, um, household errands, and then usually I'm doing schoolwork at night. So this is an exception. I do have a podcast, but recently I haven't been able to focus on it properly because I'm in the middle of planning for my next year situation with the art of gymnastics, etc. And there's just a lot to plan all at once when it's the summer because you're planning the whole year. So, but I haven't canceled it. I just didn't plan the next episode yet. I know
Okay.
I had a couple people reach out to me that they wanted to do the next episode, but I still haven't chosen whatever. So that is something that I would have done at night also, but I'm usually doing my schoolwork at night, and then um, I am, doing the custom commissions or the the prince or whatever, um, and being my kid's chauffeur, and um, I'm probably forgetting all the things that I do, making music, right? But
So
I wish I could spend more time doing that. But
tell us about the podcast called Blunt with Rachel Sam.
yeah, blunt, not the drug, like blunt, like what's not a specific drug, but blunt as in Israeli blunt, like not hashish. Blunt as in Israeli blunt as in tactless maybe, but that's not what I meant. I didn't mean tactless. I meant um, blunt. You know, when you're saying something with no filter, not in a rude way, but in a very honest way and straightforward. So I my podcast is basically like I aim for it to not sound like an interview, but rather to sound like something where if someone is listening to it, they feel like they're eavesdropping in on a conversation. Because it's always
Ooh.
fun when there's two people in another room having a conversation and it's a juicy conversation and you want to listen in on it. And it's not a formal interview. You're just like, oh, what are they saying next? What? And there's always questions that are asked that you want to know the answer to, but you're too afraid to ask and you're happy someone else asked type of thing. So that's kind of what it's focused on. For example, I had like a couple on there and I was asking them like how they met and things like that or whatever. Um, and that was the fourth episode, I believe. And yeah,
Who's who's someone that you admire?
my mother, um, because you know I'm a woman, she's a woman, so I have to admire someone that I can become, I guess. I don't know. Um, you know when people say like, "Who's your inspiration as a musician?" and then like you point out some celebrity that like that's my inspiration. That's who I want to be like. I never had that. It's not that I'm not inspired by people. I'm inspired by details that come at me throughout life, like oh that was inspiring or that like little tidbits. But as far as like one inspiring person or one role model or whatever, I don't know, my brain doesn't work like that. I'm just like I feel like everyone should just try to be the best themselves that they can be. You know,
Hmm.
the like Zusha story. And there's so many people that are worth looking up to and nobody's perfect. So everyone has like a you like can find a small reason in someone to be inspired by them and take that and learn from it and apply it to yourself as like being the best you can be, not becoming them, I guess. I don't know, but
Hmm.
this whole speech just to say that I don't really have a specific person above everyone else, perhaps, um, other than, I mean, my mother gave birth to me, but I'm saying, um, I don't know. I feel like,
Is there anyone that you would like to collaborate with next?
oh, wait, you know what? You know who inspires me is my therapist. She's incredible. Wait, what?
Is there anyone you would like to uh
Collaborate with?
collaborate with next?
Um, so realistically or like in a dream?
Realistically.
Because I would dream of like collaborating with Eminem or something, you know. But realistically, um, would I want to collaborate with? Um, that's a good question. It's hard because the people that really are out there in the Jewish music world are usually men because Jewish women like they have half the audience opportunity
Hmm.
and it's not as exciting because you have half the crowd, half the amount of time of opportunities and whatever. So when you think of like, oh, which Jewish singer has like is like out there and you like their music, like a lot of times it can be a man, and I'm not gonna say like, oh, I wish I could collaborate with Gado Buzz. You know, it's not gonna happen, and I'm not even thinking about that. But as far as like a female singer, I feel like I'm just friends with all of them. Um, what would I want to collaborate with? I'm sure there's someone. Uh, you know what? There's like, I don't remember her name, but there's someone that does violin, and I would love to like record with her playing violin on track, because
Are you talking
there's
about?
always something about live music
Are you talking about
and like,
Ariella Zeitlin?
yeah, her. I know there's someone else, but I don't remember. Um, but yeah, like I always wished that I could play violin or whatever. I wished I was taught it, but at least, vicariously through someone else.
Okay.
Yeah.
How can people find your stuff?
So my YouTube is Rachel Sam. Don't get mixed up with the there's a lot of things to get mixed up with, but there's basically, when I put out my songs, the the platform that puts it out automatically makes like a YouTube channel, and they put out the song that I submitted to them on their YouTube channel, and it says my name on there, but that's not my channel. So those
Hmm.
ones have like 3 views or something, and mine have 4 views. I don't know, but anyway, um, so to not get mixed up with that, but it's fine. And I would love if whoever is listening would subscribe to my YouTube channel, because then they'll right away be notified of when the domestic violence video comes out, because that's where I'll be posting it. And it will be a very crazy video, as promised, hopefully, because he's a very talented editor and videographer. You see, and and on Instagram, I would love for my Instagram name to be Rachel Sam, but unfortunately, someone took that name, so I had to put an underscore before the name, which makes it so much harder to search. But whatever, that's my lot in life. So at underscore Rachel Sam. And I also have a Facebook page, but that's like half dead. I keep it alive, but I'm mostly on Instagram. And my website, rachelsamart.com. That's for if you ever want a piece of art, or you can always DM me, um, like he did, and that's how he got his piece of art. But he didn't get it yet, because I still have to figure out. I want to, you know what? I want to make sure that you get, because I have it here, and I have the frame, and I have the box. But I was thinking that maybe to give you a different size where the pixels are more clear, and I wanted to like
Uh,
first make sure that you get exactly something that you're really gonna like, and not just send you anything. So that's why I didn't send it out yet. But
anything you'd like to add before we wrap up?
um blah, 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 um if anyone has any feedback or whatever, feel free to message me. I always love hearing feedback of different songs or whatever, or opinions or trigger warnings or whatever, insults. No, don't give me the insults, but um and yeah, thank you so much for having me on here.
Yes, it's a
And
real pleasure.
I really appreciate it, and I appreciate you playing my songs, and I hope I can make as many as possible. And yeah, one last thought, like, even though I kind of mentioned it before, is like, um, for anyone that feels like, for example, one time I applied to a girl all female from talent competition, and I made the mistake of telling them I do rap. I should have just told them I'm a singer, but she was like, "Oh, no, 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 no," and she's like, "I'm sorry, but like I don't think it's appropriate for a thing like it's." And she kind of said like, "It's because of the higher ups. It's not me. I would accept you if I could, but like rap is not appropriate." And I was just frustrated, because I feel like, we learn in Tanya with there's like Klipa and there's Kedusha, and then
And
there's things
Klippas
that are
Naga.
neutral in between that
Yeah.
might not necessarily currently be holy, like online or using a phone, but you can use it for something bad, or you can use it for something good, and it's put there to make the like like to make the choice and use it for something good. So if you have rap that exists, rap in itself is just a genre. Like there's nothing evil or unholy about rap. Yes, for the most part, what people have used that genre for are lyrics that are not appropriate, are like give you a vibe of inappropriate immorality or whatever, and like the words that are used. But if you just take that genre and there's like an anger in that genre that can be expressed very well through that genre. So when you think about things that you're angry about, that it's healthy to be angry about, like the Holocaust, and you put it in a rap, um, I don't know if you could call it like elevating it, but that's what I feel like is like using it towards something that can actually inspire. And whoever out there feels like it's an evil genre, I encourage you to go listen and um, give give me a chance, give the genre a chance, because um, yeah, it's better to use something for good than to destroy it altogether, because then you have more good in the world and not just less bad.
Hmm. All right. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much for joining us on People We Know and Stories We Don't.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Okay. Have a good night.
You
Wait,
too.
I want to get a